I also don't like the Neapolitan.
Well, ice cream is sick.
Italian ice cream is far superior. It slaps. It's so good.
I also thought it was crazy when people do it in cups and sticks.
I mean, cups, I think,
arbitrary.
the imperial system, I think, is insane. But, like, having things in sticks of butter, and they all just smashed into pieces. I phoned Mike in, like, floods of tears. Because I've just spent, like, 6 or 7 hours making these macarons.
This is... Right then, my friends, it's been a long time, mainly because we got married. Yeah, got a ring on now. And... it's been a while, and then we did 5 consecutive podcasts about our Vegas wedding. But we're back. We're back to do monthly M&M, where we do a topic chosen by you lovely listeners, where Patreons do get the priority. And this week, our good friend Tonya Todd and Patreon supporter submitted us about 8 topics. So we decided, let's just do a bunch of them, and we'll spin the wheel of destiny to see what topic we're going to be tackling this week. And you already know what the topic is, because that's to be the name of the episode, but for us, it is a surprise. Oh my god. So let us play the theme tune while we spin the Spinner of Doom.
It's M&M monthly discussions, the time of month we all go crazy for, where Mike and Megan talk about a topic. It's a podcast you simply can't ignore, so if you want to join in the fun, tune in to M&M monthly discussions. That's funny.
So, yes, we have chosen, as it says, desserts and ice cream. Nice and fun, because we only just got back from being out for a meal, actually.
We didn't have dessert or ice cream while we were out.
Exactly. So we were talking about if we were going to get dessert or ice creams.
We got homemade brownies.
We do have homemade brownies. So Megan is a very active baker. So she knows, I think, you probably know a lot more about desserts and ice cream than I do. First of all, have you ever made your own ice cream?
I've I think I've made. Well, it's like the ice cream that you put in oh my god, I can't speak. You put it in the freezer and then you have to mix it up every so often.
Oh, you did it during COVID, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's never ever come out how I want it to be. It's always rock solid. I want an ice cream maker.
I think we're going to say I want an ich cream now, because we've just started talking about ice cream.
I would at some point in the future to buy an ice cream machine.
Aren't they...
I know that Rhea has one.
Shout out to Rhea. Isn't there just don't they just turn cream for ages? Yeah, they
consistently churn them. I think you have to make a custard for it to then go into the thing.
Doesn't your fancy schmancy kitchen mixer doodad, wouldn't that have an option on it? No, you don't understand. No, I don't understand the process.
My stand mixer does not have an ice cream maker function.
When you made ice cream, was that in COVID? Was that with yoghurt and stuff? Was that more of a froyo?
I think it was more like frozen yoghurt, and it was, as I said, rock solid.
Yeah. It was good, though.
I don't remember.
Even, to be fair, even not great ice cream is good. So, we'll keep on ice cream for a moment. So, can you remember ever having bad ice cream?
There's been some ice creams that I've not enjoyed as much.
Yeah, you're more specific with flavours.
I don't like Viennetta that much. Which is a real specific English thing. I think it's a British thing.
Well, I just find isn't Viennetta basically just it's just vanilla, isn't it? With cocoa powder on.
Yeah, well, I also don't like the Neapolitan.
Neapolitan?
Well, I don't like chocolate ice cream.
Because Neapolitan, it's chocolate ice. It's normally chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry.
Yeah.
Chocolate ice cream is pretty weak.
I don't
Let's
like
be honest.
Ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream, the problem with chocolate ice cream is normally cocoa powder.
It's bland.
But that's the reason why often chocolate milkshake sucks. Because if it had actual chocolate in, it would be good. But it doesn't. It normally has not great.
Even in Italy, I don't really like chocolate ice cream that much. It's not ever something that I would choose to have.
In Italy, isn't it normally gelato? Gelato.
It's the same thing.
Gelato.
Gelato is just the Italian word for ice cream.
It's actually not.
Yeah, but in Italy, it's just the Italian word for ice cream.
I know in Italy it's the Italian word, but technically speaking, it's something like gelato is actually churned for longer.
I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, I'm not asking. Because I looked it up, because I've been asked this before. And so gelato, whatever, it's actually it just means it's usually been churned
So
for a bit
to
longer.
me,
Hi friends, just a quick note from editing land. I was actually wrong in this. Actually, a quick few fun facts about gelato. Gelato is typically churned at a lower speed than ice cream. Gelato often does not use eggs, but sometimes it does, usually doesn't though. Typically, gelato has a lower milk fat content, and also gelato is usually stored at a slightly warmer temperature. So there's some quick fun gelato facts versus ice cream. Anyway, back to the show.
to me, ice cream is the same.
Half claim.
Ice cream is gelato because gelato is literally just the word for ice cream.
But let's be honest, when you're in Italy and you have ice cream, they do have the best.
Yeah,
Like,
Italian
ice cream is sick.
Italian ice cream is far superior. It slaps. It's so good.
Way better than English ice cream.
Yeah, obviously.
One of the things I love about ice cream, especially Bergamo, which is right near where your family come from, is that's where...
Near where my dad lives, yeah.
Well, your Italian
My
side
Italian
of the
side
family.
of the family are from like quite a lot of different places in Italy.
They're the mountain family.
But yeah, Bergamo.
So Bergamo, they have stracciatella, and
That's where it originated.
stracciatella originated from there, which is it's so weird because stracciatella is literally just vanilla ice cream but with like shards of chocolate in
I think
there.
it's dark chocolate, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like when you find out that a sandwich was allegedly first invented in
Sandwich. Which it was in
And it's because in Americans know that the most because of the Earl of Sandwich is like a popular chain over there. Whereas over here, I think there's a couple, but I think
I've
it's an
eaten a
American chain.
sandwich.
Nice. Have you had a sandwich and sandwich?
I didn't. I had lamb shank and my mum got food poisoning.
Yeah, that's because you didn't have a sandwich, mate. If you had a lamb sandwich, you'd be fine. But it's so weird because thinking of like where sandwich originated from, it's like you just put meat in bread.
I remember learning about sandwiches.
Really?
And the Earl of Sandwich. Like, I remember learning about it at school, and it was when I was in, like... It must have been primary school.
Right.
It must have been between the years of, like...
1967. No, I mean, sandwiches were made like 1400s or something.
It must have
crazy.
been in, like, year 2 or something, or
Yeah.
year 3. I must have been really little. But we did a project where we had to design our own sandwiches.
To design a sandwich.
Yeah.
If you're year 2, you guys probably came up with crazy stuff.
I don't
Like
remember.
anchovies and jelly or something nuts.
Ugh.
Actually, no one in year 2 likes anchovies. That's
And
what,
also,
7-year-olds?
who the fuck is putting jelly in a sandwich?
Peanut butter and jelly is like the
Yes,
most,
but-
is that the most famous type of American
Yes,
jelly?
but in America,
Yeah,
jelly
is jam.
is our jam. Who the
I
hell is
know.
putting jelly in a
People
sandwich?
who think peanut butter and jelly sound good and then they put actual jelly in a sandwich. I
Jelly
don't
is
know.
minging.
People put crazy. If you hate the texture of jelly,
I do hate the texture.
and well, actually, we're still on desserts because
Also, jelly, for anyone that is listening that doesn't know what jelly what we're referring
Jell-O.
to is Jello.
yeah, which is such a weird Americanism. It's like, come on. But what's interesting is at kids' parties, I bet you hated it. Is when you're it's probably under year 4.
Ice cream and jelly.
Yeah, vanilla
Nah.
ice cream, a scoop of vanilla ice cream that's normally yellow, the yellow vanilla ice cream, and jelly. normally strawberry jelly.
I've never liked jelly.
I love strawberry and jelly.
I think my brother likes jelly.
Really? He doesn't like a lot of things. That surprises me. Yeah, so I mean, ice cream, stracciatella, I love that. And whenever we go to Bergamo, I'm always pushing it, you and your dad
Whenever
to
we
take
go
me
to
there.
visit my dad in Italy, my Mike's like, can we go to Città Alta? And the only reason there's Città Alta and Città Bassa, so you've got the high part of the city and the low part of the city, because the top part of the city is on this massive hill.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like surrounded by a big wall.
in it. Yeah.
It's a UNESCO heritage site. Fun fact, I believe anyway. And yeah, Mike makes us
I don't
walk.
make you. I always ask pleasantly, and because I'm a guest,
Yeah,
so
but
Dad
because
does what I
you want
want.
to go, we go up there, so we have to walk up this massive hill to get to the top, just so
worth
that we
it.
can have an ice cream.
Yeah, but the ice cream's sick though, so
the
it's
ice
worth it.
cream's nice, but like,
Oh, yeah.
ice cream is ice cream.
Well, I think you don't like it because on the walk, your dad and I just
Yeah,
speak
it's
about
because I just
history.
walk in silence. I just walk on my
interested.
own, out of breath, up this massive hill that I've walked up so many times. And when I say a massive hill, it is massive.
It is a very steep incline for ages as well.
And it's not even so
the
much
walk's
the
like a good
walking.
hour,
It's a long walk. My dad
Yeah.
will park in the free car park. We have to walk through a massive park before we even get to the
Yeah.
hill.
Your dad
and then it's
knows.
just to go and have some ice cream.
That's what me and your dad get on so well because it's like
And I have to
stracciatella ice
walk in
cream.
silence because Dad and
You don't
Mike are
have
just
to talk.
talking.
You don't have to walk in silence. It's just we
There's
talk
literally
about
nothing
history.
for me to say.
We talk about history, and you're just not as interested by history as we are, especially the history of stracciatella and Bergamo. Normally, it's he and I talking about the history of Bergamo, and he talks about like when certain rebellions occurred and fighting and death and a lot of the wars. And Megan's like, "Can we talk about something else?" Like, yes, let's talk about music. It's like, not that. Please don't talk about prog rock for an hour.
I'll just walk on my own.
Yeah. But we'll move on to the desserts in a moment. What's your favourite ice cream flavour?
I'm boring. It's vanilla.
But it's proper vanilla. It's not like... So over here we have Mr. Whippy
It's
ice cream.
either vanilla. So if I was going to have ice cream, in Italy, I will always have strawberry and vanilla.
Strawberry and vanilla.
Yeah.
So it's basically like raspberry ripple.
Vanilla e fragola. I have vanilla and
I
strawberry.
mean, raspberry ripple is pretty good too, but strawberry.
Otherwise, I might have fior di latte, which is like another creamy vanilla-y thing.
It's not far removed from... Was it dolce?
Latte.
Dolce latte.
Latte is milk.
Yeah, but what's that Spanish dish? Dolce de latte or something?
Dulce de leche.
Dulce de leche.
Yeah, but that's like caramel. That's sick as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. It's kind of like a creme brulee ice cream, isn't it?
I love dulce de leche.
I love that shit. That's good. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, but hazelnut ice cream, do you like that much? Because that's kind of hazelnuts.
Hazelnut's a bit of a strong flavour for me.
A bit of a strong flavour. Christ. But you like Nutella?
I like Nutella.
You got bloody nuts for Nutella.
I do love Nutella, but hazelnuts are strong.
Okay, right.
I wouldn't ever choose a hazelnut.
Well, we all know that Megan's real favourite, which is mint ice cream. Oh. She loves mint ice cream. Look at that face. Loves it. Loves mint ice cream.
Mint can go in the bin.
I've really grown to like mint choc chip. It's not my favourite. I think the only ice cream flavour that I don't like is rum raisin. But I haven't had that for probably about 15 years.
I can tell you for a fact, I've never had that, and I can tell you right now, I'm not
never gonna have it. Well, you hate raisins and you hate rum, so I can't imagine. But then I don't know how rum and ice cream would go together, and I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like, if you have a cherry brandy ice ollie, it doesn't taste like cherry brandy, it just is a cherry ice ollie. And you hate cherry as well. That's another ice cream flavour you wouldn't like, is cherry. Whereas I like basically all of them. It's just how...
It's weird, because I like cherry bakewells.
Yeah, you are.
I like cherry bakewells, but I wouldn't eat the glacé cherry on top. I'd take it off.
To be fair, I didn't eat the cherry on top either.
We had cherry bakewells in the office the other day. Well, I say the other day, it was months ago.
It was another day.
And one of my colleagues, he ate my glacé cherry, and I ate the rest of it.
I used to remember in school, it used to be whenever there was cherry bakewells handed out, find the kid that really likes cherries. Because I find with cherries are a weird one where it's like either some people like them, some people don't like them, some people are neutral, or they fucking love them. There's no people who just like cherries. They're people who don't mind them or fucking love them. Yeah, cherries, the Marmite of the fruit world. So we spoke about ice cream quite a lot. I think my favourite is, I love caramel flavoured ice cream, but also, if this counts as ice cream, sorbet.
Sorbet is
Why did you sing that? Sorbet of the sweetness. Don't know where that came from.
Sorbet for me is a weird one because I just associate it again. I only really ever have it in Italy, and you have it. It's like a palate cleanser. It's like a dessert at the end, but normally it's got vodka in it.
Does it?
Yeah.
I always remember on holiday having
it's got some sort of alcohol in it. Having
the lemon, which is it's like a lemon that they hollow out.
Yeah.
And then they put the sorbet in the lemon and put the little lemon hat on it.
A little lemon hat.
I love sorbet. I bloody love lemon sorbet. Raspberry sorbet is probably my favourite. One of my favourite ice cream combinations, it doesn't work very well, but when you have it in a cone, is to have a real strong caramel ice cream, and on top of that have a raspberry sorbet. I love raspberry sorbet. Baskin Robbins, the very few times I've ever had them, they do a berry blast one.
Never had Baskin Robbins.
Oh, it's so good. We'll have to go to the Cineworld in Whiteley and get you a Baskin Robbins. Rainbow sherbet, that was the best. Rainbow sherbet.
That sounds foul.
It's not got actual sherbet in, but it's rainbow sherbet, which is, I think it's lemon, orange, and raspberry sorbet, or mixed, not mixed, but patchy. So you have a scoop of it and you taste a little bit of each.
There was one
and there's a berry one
that always looked disgusting in Italy, and now I need to try and remember what the Smurfs are in Italian.
Smurfs. Oh, is it? It's like a blue raspberry one. I remember seeing that.
So in Italy...
I've never had that. I remember when I used to go to Italy as a kid, and I remember seeing the Smurf thing, and I was too afraid of what the flavour could be.
In Italy, the Smurfs are called I Puffi.
Right.
And there's... I think less so in recent years. I haven't seen them for a while. Yeah. But growing up especially, there was always an ice cream flavour that was called I Puffi, and it was always the blue, luminous, bright blue ice cream flavour that I think it was bubblegum flavour, but it was the Smurf.
But it never translated, because when you go from the UK to Italy, all the ice cream flavours, either they're cognates, so vanille is vanilla, obviously, and there's quite a few things like that that are quite obvious. And fragola isn't fragola raspberry?
Fragola is strawberry.
What's raspberry?
Mirtillo.
Okay, I'm thinking of.
Actually, I think mirtillo is a blueberry. Lampone, I think, is a raspberry.
What's French for raspberry? Because French for raspberry and strawberry.
Le fraise is strawberry, framboise.
That's what I always think, because raspberry and strawberry are really similar.
Lampone is raspberry in Italian.
So I've never had blueberry ice cream. That sounds sick. But
we went to I think I've told you this before.
Here we go. Into the story.
There was one year that we went to. So in Italy, they have all of these like weird festivals.
Oh yeah, potato festival, mushroom festival.
Mushroom festival. Yeah, I've never been to a potato.
Oh, sorry,
festival
no, the potato festival is here in the UK.
I've been to like a polenta festival. There's also like a cheese festival. There's also like sausage festival. There's
I bet you have a great time at sausage
specifically like frico, which is
we have
fried
sausage.
cheese festival.
We have sausage
It's like a specific thing that happens in the summer for like a handful of days, but it's like normally revolves around food.
Yeah.
And like I can't really explain what else.
I mean, Italy
it's
are
like.
a nation of feeders.
But there was one that we went to that was the Lampone Mirtillo, which was just raspberries and blueberries. It was a whole
festival of raspberries and blueberries.
whole food festival.
Oh wow!
For like a few days, based on raspberries and blueberries.
Sounds
and
cool.
if you ask Dad, he'll be like, "It was the most fucking expensive." But he was like, "It was ridiculous." He was like, "It was so expensive."
Yeah.
I obviously didn't pay for anything because I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, there's just loads of quirky things like that. Like, especially up, like, in the mountains where a lot of my family are from, in, like, Razia, that area, which is, like, on the border between Austria and Slovenia.
Yeah.
There's loads of those weird festivals over there.
I say
weird, they're cool, I like them, but, like...
Yeah. Well, you seem to dislike weird things, but then also really love weird things. You know, it's your weird radar's really weird. Like, you love me, and I'm a very odd person, apparently, but... You know, the last thing about ice cream, and then moving to desserts, is pistachio. Now, pistachio ice cream
It never
usually...
hits as what you want it
Do you
to
know why? Because they use marzipan. Because pistachio ice cream, for some reason, is always marzipan
made out
flavoured.
of almonds,
But that's it is, yeah. But that's the weird thing, is that whenever I taste pistachio ice cream, it just tastes all marzipan-y, and that's not pistachio. But when you have like pistachio cream, which I know you can buy in Costco in the UK, and there's our favourite coffee shop in the whole world is in Manchester called Michael's, shout out, and they do pistachio latte, which is the greatest drink of all time, and pistachio like croissants filled with that pistachio cream.
It's so good.
Incredible, it's making my mouth water now. And if you could get ice cream that's...
We're going to Scotland, or planning on going to Scotland
and
in August.
the plan is to drive
We're driving up via Manchester.
to go to Michael's.
In fact, like one of our friends went to Manchester recently for work, and she specifically
went to
Michael's because we bang on about it, and everyone at work knows that I love Michael's coffee shop in Manchester. Even people at theatre know about it at this point, because one of them recently was like, "Oh, I thought about you the other day, Megan, because I saw a pistachio latte on the
Costa,
thing."
Right?
No, it was at I saw that at Costa.
Right.
It was at Starbucks, and she was like, "Oh, I thought of you," and I was just like, "It's not going to be as good as the one from Michael's."
Michael's were there first.
Anyone go to Manchester, go to Michael's.
And say we sent you. Say the Genuine Chit-Chat podcast sent you, and hopefully get some free stuff.
Here's the best.
Hopefully we'll get free stuff, you won't. But yeah, that's pretty much it for ice cream, I think. So desserts. So you are an avid baker. So you've got a nice baking list. In fact, you made brownies today.
It's fun that Tonya sent this in, because obviously when she stayed with us, I made her some stuff from the baking
You made
list.
the almond cake.
I made almond cake, I made brownie
cookies.
snaps, I made cookies, and I made sticky toffee pudding.
Oh yeah, sticky toffee pudding. That's weird because I don't think that's a thing in America.
Nah, sticky toffee pudding is so good. It's my favourite. It's my favourite dessert.
Get in my veins. So, and it's funny because you normally once a year you get an absolute obsession with sticky toffee pudding, and then
Well, do you remember last year for my birthday?
this is what I was. Here we go. Yeah, this is what I was.
Last year for my birthday, I picked the restaurant based on like where we went out for my birthday meal.
Yeah.
With my mum. I picked the restaurant specifically because they had sticky toffee pudding on the menu, and then we were so full up I didn't get to eat it.
Yeah.
I was like really disappointed. I was so full up I couldn't eat pudding.
No more pudding.
No dessert for me.
Yeah, so desserts. So what's your favourite dessert to make? Because I mean, you've made quite a few, but there's also quite a few random ones that you've just never made before. Because brownies is your go-to, isn't it? Your brownies are pretty legendary.
Yeah, the kids at work like my brownies.
Everyone likes your brownies.
One of my year 11s has actively told me that she told her mum that I make better brownies than her mum. Like she said,
causing war.
And like sometimes the kids will be like, "Miss, the other day I was thinking about your brownies." I was like, okay. So I did make some brownies today because tomorrow is Mother's Day here. So
for your mum.
Tomorrow is the 30th of March.
Yeah.
For us anyway, because it's 2 different Mother's Days.
This will be coming out in a few weeks. Well, for patrons, I think they'll get it pretty soon. They'll get it just the Thursday after. But you normies on YouTube and etc. who are listening to this, you won't get it for a little while.
Anyway, yeah, I made brownies today in preparation for Mother's Day, but I also bought enough ingredients to make like 3 more batches because next week is the last week of term. So for my older classes, I take brownies in.
Yeah, brownies
as
is
a nice little treat.
Brownies is your go-to. You do make a really good Victoria sponge cake.
I don't enjoy making a Victoria sponge cake.
You make a good one.
I think it's boring.
But then you
I am
you don't
a
make the jam
rosette
anymore.
winner.
You
for
are
my Victoria sponge cake.
I could go and get it, but I can't be bothered.
My
It's in the
rosette.
room.
Oh, what else did I win the rosette for?
Was it your lemon curd? Or
No, my lemon curd didn't win.
That's outrageous. Your lemon curd was amazing.
It was my shortbread.
Oh, you always make shortbread.
My shortbread.
Every
I
Christmas.
entered a baking competition at the New Forest show, and I won 4th place for both my Victoria sponge cake
It's a pretty big festival. So
and
pretty good.
my shortbread. And also there were loads of entries for both the at least.
4th best shortbread in Hampshire. You heard it.
I don't think that's quite true.
Your shortbread is very good. I would say your lemon curd's probably better than your shortbread, though. Your lemon curd was amazing, but I didn't taste first place, so maybe that was like orgasmic. I don't know. But
I don't know what my favourite dessert. I like baking celebration cakes.
Oh, like birthday cakes.
Like birthday
you like
cakes.
making creative tops, don't you?
Yeah, I
So
like.
I'll put a picture up of the birthday cake Megan made me for this year, which was a fun little
It's a
Mustafa
Mustafa
Star Wars cake. And then if you can try and get me those photos of, and I'll try and put them on screen, is you made my mate Kieran, you made him a
stag
cake.
do.
The stag do. There's like
that was a
Ferrero Rocher,
Rocher.
and you use little whiskey miniature things.
Yeah, I made the one for Nikki's hen do, which had macarons on it. I made Davin and Rachel's, which is my brother and sister-in-law.
That was the great
their
Dean
engagement cake.
That was the 3 chocolate cake, wasn't it?
That
Where it was
was-
like white milk and dark chocolate.
Yeah, it was like ombre.
What was the? Oh, you made one for Kerry that was the dinosaur cake.
Oh yeah, I made Carrie's
So
dinosaur
we'll try
cake.
and-
I also made Carrie a cream egg cake one
The
year.
cream egg, that was good, yeah. That was very sugary. We'll try and
I
make
made her
sure
cream egg brownies as well once.
I'll get photos of those up on, say, YouTube again. On YouTube, subscribe,
I
please.
mean, it's not like all of my bakes are fantastic. Like, I've made some absolute demon ones.
I think normally...
Like, decoration
Yeah, I was going to say, they always taste
They
good.
always taste fine.
That
but
caterpillar
decoration-
cake that you made was...
That caterpillar cake that I made was the stuff of nightmares.
Also, a couple of years ago, Megan applied for the Bake Off.
I did.
And she actually got through the first round. And then she got interviewed and
I had a
stuff.
phone interview.
Phone interview to get on the Bake Off. But she didn't get through further. But
I didn't apply
think
last year, and I actually didn't apply this year.
we couldn't
either.
apply last year because when they record,
They record
we were away in America.
Yeah, they record in April and August, so
Yeah.
we were away for our wedding. And this year, I just didn't.
It was too
I
busy.
didn't-
This year we were just like, it was like such a manic year last year.
The
Like,
thing
let's have a
is,
breather.
it's difficult because I enjoy baking, but I genuinely think I'd have an absolute breakdown on national television if I got onto the Bake Off.
Maybe, but then you have
What
to.
is it called in America? It's not called the Great British
The
Bake Off.
Great British Baking Show,
The Great, yeah.
which does not have the same ring to it. The fact that they think Americans can't figure out that a Bake Off is a baking show is madness to me. They've got so many stupid names for TV shows.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe I'll apply again in the future.
Yeah, it was just, this year. It was just like we wanted to have more of a calm time, and also it's quite a lot to do when you apply because you have to collate loads of
It's a
information.
really
the
big,
phone interview.
Like, well, you're not supposed to talk about the application process that much.
Oh, sorry.
It is quite a big application form.
Well, thousands of people apply. It's not only one of the biggest shows in the UK, it's one of the biggest shows in the world, I think. Like Americans, the only 4 shows that I know Americans always either watch or know of is Bake Off, Top Gear, which isn't really a thing anymore, Downton Abbey and Doctor Who. Outside of that, people just don't watch British shows, really. Or maybe the UK Office is probably...
Yeah. But no, I love desserts and I love baking. Like, I've got a 100
bakes.
bakes to make before you die poster.
Yeah, Barry.
That whenever you bake it, you scratch it off. So that's where Tonya got the brandy snaps and the sticky toffee pudding from.
Yeah, you've done the
Which is a
half.
hard one because, like, I don't always like those things. Like, brandy snaps I actively think are disgusting. So
I
I
like
made them because...
I don't like the inner cream, though, because I just don't like... I don't like whipped cream. I like ice cream and stuff when it's flavoured. But when it's just whipped cream, where it's just cream flavoured, it just tastes like nothing, which I don't like as much. But it's funny because on the 100 baked list...
Also, those cookies that I made were pretty good.
Those cookies were sick, yeah. The thing is with the baked list is now that you've done most of the heavy hitters, the ones that are left are either really obscure things or stuff you actively don't like. Like, you don't like Jaffa cakes.
Also, I made those, though.
No, I know. They were good.
But also, some of the stuff on there isn't just desserts. It's like, there's like bready things. So
Pork
there's like
pie.
Irish soda bread on there.
Pork pie. There's also a few sort of Eastern things, because there's like... Garibaldi, I
There's
don't think is
naan bread
Eastern,
on there.
but there's naan bread.
Well, Garibaldi's a type of biscuit.
But that's what I mean. There's quite a few which are things we didn't really recognise. We had to look up. But I mean, you just love baking, don't you?
I do just love baking.
And making desserts is primarily baking.
Any
isn't it?
opportunity to do baking, like people at work have started, like there's a couple of people at work that have started asking me to bake cakes for whatever reason and they give me money. So one of my colleagues has asked me a couple of times to make either her birthday cake or her husband's birthday cake, and she gives me money for it.
Yeah.
I'm now known just in my department as the person who bakes cakes for people's birthdays. And then people just give me some money towards it. Yeah. One of my colleagues the other day was like, whose birthday is it next? And I was like, oh, it's it's yours, isn't it? And he was like, no, mine's in July. And I was like, whose is it? And then my head of department was like, Megan, it's yours. And I was like, oh, all right. And then the colleague that asked, he was like, oh, I just want one of your cakes. And I was like, I can just bake a cake. Like, it doesn't have to be someone's birthday. Because I like baking, but I don't always want to eat it. Because where I'm trying to eat healthily and lose weight and stuff.
That's the one thing baking doesn't allow. So, it's so hard to make like low fat. And if you do, they're nowhere near as good. And they're
this
about
is the
twice
thing as well, is that, like, do you remember, I made, like, mug cake, right?
Oh, you went through a phase of that.
Nah.
Mainly COVID, I think.
No. There was one here somewhat recently where I used to do Slimming World, which is like a weight loss thing. And they have it's like Weight Watchers type thing. And, they have like recipes on there to have healthier desserts that are like within your points of the day. And I made that carrot cake.
Oh God. Ugh.
I made a carrot cake. Mug cake, so that you just cook it in the microwave, and it was absolutely fucking disgusting.
You made a healthy carrot cake since then that you quite enjoyed. You took the protein one. No, the protein one you stick to.
Oh, the protein
not in a mug.
Nice.
You used to take that. But
I haven't made that in a while.
But that was a lot of work.
It was a lot of effort. Yeah. That's one of the reasons that I like. Obviously, COVID and lockdown had its flaws, and it was like pretty crappy. But
yeah.
One of the things that I loved about lockdown is having the time to make healthy bakes and spend time actually doing stuff. That was quite pleasant. Because, baking's also just really expensive. Like, making desserts is really pricey.
I mean, Americans know about the price of eggs. I mean, over here in the UK, it's not quite as bad.
Oh, my God. Eggs are so expensive.
Eggs are expensive,
I went food shopping today, and I bought stuff, I bought stuff for Mother's Day, and I bought ingredients for the brownies, and our shop came to, over £80. Yeah. And I was like, I don't even know what I bought that cost over £80.
There was, a bit of cider you bought. And then
I spent £12 on chocolate chips.
Yeah, which is quite nuts. So, the main way British people tell how bad inflation's got is Freddos. Is how expensive they've gotten since we were younger. I love you baking and stuff like that, but it is hard because you bake something and then we now have to make the decision to be an adult that when you make cake, we don't eat all the shavings. That's the hardest thing, because when you've got a nice cake and you've got that wire thing that I got you,
and it makes level the cakes out.
Well, that I got you, and also Justin and Kat got you one as well, and it's like you cut it and it makes it like a perfect flat, so it's really even, so that especially when you can stack it. And when you do that, there's almost always about a fifth of a cake probably of one bit of cake.
I wouldn't say a fifth, but yeah, for your Mustafa cake, that was quite a lot of cut-offs.
Yeah, because you made it like a cool shape. Again, I'll put the picture up and things. But the Mustafa cake you made, which I asked for a chocolate fudge cake, that's the best chocolate cake I've ever had in my life.
It was bloody good.
We were all drinking that day and eating hot wings and stuff. And then we had no cake left, which never happens. When people are drinking,
there was actually a slither left.
Because normally when it's my birthday, we have people around for drinks and stuff, normally 10 to 20 people or so. And if Megan makes cakes, normally I'd say 5 to 10 people have it, because usually when you drink alcohol, you're not necessarily craving cake. But when that happened, everyone just devoured it. The only reason we even had it left is because you cut off a bit and hid it away so that my mum could try some.
I cut off a chunk so that your mum can have some the next day, yeah?
Yeah, that was good. Did you enjoy making that?
Yeah, I enjoyed making that one.
Because you also make a mean lemon meringue cake. Lemon meringue pie, rather.
I do love lemon meringue pie. That's a good dessert.
Yeah, you made me a key lime pie once. That was pretty good.
That was really sweet.
Yeah.
I remember that wasn't being very, very, very sweet.
It wasn't limey enough for me.
It's made with condensed milk, yeah.
Americans love condensed milk, don't they?
Yeah. Pecan pie, that was
incredible.
I made pecan pie in October last year, and that was very good. I love making pumpkin pie as well. That pecan pie was really yummy.
I think the first time I had pecan pie was in the first Denny's that was open in the UK in Wales.
Yeah.
That was good. Americans can do some mean baking, but also no slight on Americans. But when we watch Instagram reels or people baking in America, and they're like, here's a baking thing we're making. And we're like, yeah, of course it tastes good. You've used about 3 sticks of butter. Obviously it tastes good.
I will say that is useful, having the measurements in sticks of butter.
Is it? I always thought it was crazy when people do it in cups and sticks.
I mean, cups, I think
arbitrary.
the imperial system, I think, is insane. But, like, having things in sticks of butter, and it already being, like, measured out, I think is quite cool. It's nice.
It's cool if the ingredient needs 1 stick of butter or half, but when it gets beyond that, it gets a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Like, if you need, like, 2/3 of a stick of butter, it's like, that's kind of dependent on how you cut it up. But it's also like when we watch things on Instagram, where it's like, here's a lush, quick and easy thing to make. And then it's like sugar, butter, chocolate. It's all obviously.
That's not just America, that's just baking.
No,
in
I
general.
know. But I just find that when we see some of those Instagram reels and it's just like people making the easy thing. It's like, yeah, it's easy because the 3 main ingredients you use is chocolate, butter and sugar. So obviously.
That's literally the brownies that I made earlier.
Shut your pretty little mouth.
Those brownies that I made earlier had
I know.
275 grams of sugar in them. Then it had like 200 grams of butter in them. It had 200 grams of dark chocolate, and then also 300 grams of chocolate chips.
Yeah, boy. Is that pretty much all that you put in there? And flour?
And 100 grams of flour and 4 eggs.
That's why it tastes so good. But yeah, okay. We're getting near the end because, we always say about 30 minutes is approximately what we aim for.
Girl.
Yes, it is quite late. Hence why the lighting is a bit odd because it's pitch black outside. What is the hardest thing you've ever had to make? It doesn't work for me because
Macarons.
Oh, yes, the macaron. You got to tell them the macaron story.
Macarons.
Megan's favourite thing to make is macarons.
I refuse to ever make them again.
For now, it's been about 3.
I'm not ever going to make them again.
I think if we have...
It's not been 3 years. It's been like over 4. It was in COVID.
If we have children and they want to make macarons,
Absolutely.
I don't think you could say no to them.
I'll sell the kids.
You'll sell the kids to
making macarons.
You won't just not make macarons. You'll sell them to prove a point.
So I made macarons for my friend's hen do cake. As decoration. So I made them just as like a bit of extra decoration, which was very bougie of me. And then our friend's mum was getting married, and our friend was making the wedding cake, and she asked me to make macarons as an extra, just so that you could use it as decoration on the wedding cake. So I made loads of macarons, and macarons take fucking hours. They take so long.
Well, because you have to sieve. Is it you have to sieve?
So you have ground almonds, and the recipe that I used said that you needed to then also sieve the almonds so that you can make them super fine, so that when you make the macarons themselves, the almonds are really fine, and you reduce the risk of there being like clumps in there. But we watched like a whole TV show while we did it, or like a film or something insane. It took me like an hour and a half.
I think it was an hour to 2 hours of you just, I remember, sat on the sofa, just basically pouring and pushing almonds through a little sieve. Yeah.
So yeah, that took that amount of time. But then also once you've made the batter, you need to let them sit for an hour, because then they form like a little skin.
Yeah.
And then you put them in the oven.
Nice little skin.
And then you make the filling, and then you obviously sandwich them together. And what I did was all of that, put them in their Tupperware, and then I turned around in the kitchen, my hip knocked into the Tupperware and knocked all of the macarons on the floor.
Macarons are very, very... I'll put a picture of macaron up.
Delicate.
I'll try and get a picture of the macarons you had before and after, of the macaron pics you can see.
They are delicate little...
So-and-sos.
Blighters.
Blighters?
Yeah.
I've never heard you say blighter in my life.
They're very delicate, and they all just smashed into pieces. I phoned Mike in like floods of tears because I've just spent like 6 or 7 hours making these macarons.
This is before we had Willow.
They're also going to be used as decoration. Yeah, this is before Willow. This was when we lived in the flat.
But I thought something had happened to the tortoise. I was genuinely concerned that the tortoise had died or something. The amount of upset when she called me.
I was so sad.
And I was like, oh God, what's happened? And then she was like, oh, I hit the dropped macarons on the floor. I was like, oh, thank God. She was like, what? And I was like, no.
I literally
okay, it's really bad, but
it was within seconds. I had just put them in the Tupperware. I'd filled them. I put the lid on, turned around, and my hip knocked into them. Fortunately, there was a whole Tupperware behind like where the kettle was that I'd put them to one side that I hadn't filled. So I had extras that I could then make more buttercream to put inside of the macarons that could then be used. But it was just hours of work that was wasted. And they are difficult to make anyway. Yeah. So I have vowed to never make macarons
temporarily
again.
And we will say that the best macarons in the world are from the origin, which is Paris. France in general, but Paris has like really good macarons, and I'd say there's lots of places. Though. Yeah, there's lots of places to do incredible desserts and things. We must confess we've not had that many desserts from Asia. I don't think I've had any traditional African desserts, to be fully honest. But when it comes to Europe, we had quite a few when we did the food tour in Disney World, because we had the Norwegian sweet rolls and a few things there. But French patisserie.
French patisserie is so good.
I'm not as much of a fan of a lot of French food. I like quite big portions and home cooking and stuff. But when you get to French patisserie, they're just phenomenal. You just can't really beat them. Anywhere you go in France, they've just got such amazing bakeries. So last thing, do you have a favourite dessert? If you could only ever have one more dessert for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would probably be sticky toffee pudding.
Sticky toffee? Okay.
I love sticky toffee pudding so much. It's so good.
I think, mine would be ice cream because it's kind of diverse. But if I had to choose like one
ice cream's
flavour,
not pudding. It's not a dessert.
If you go to a restaurant,
it's on the dessert menu.
Yeah, I'd say ice cream is the goat, I think. But if I sidestepping that, I am a sucker for just Victoria sponge. It's boring, but I love jam.
That's so boring.
But I love jam. If it's raspberry jam is one of my favourite things. So like raspberry jam, vanilla buttercream that's really vanilla-y, and a good sponge. It's classic. It's classic. I love a chocolate fudge cake, don't get me wrong, but a classic Victoria sponge. You know me, my favourite donut is a Krispy Kreme glazed raspberry filled donut.
No, give me those filled donuts.
The raspberry filled donuts.
Give me the filled donuts.
What's your favourite Krispy Kreme donut? I think raspberry jam is the goat.
The Biscoff one's pretty good. The Nutella one is also pretty good.
I just think that with the Nutella and the Biscoff, you can get so many things that taste like that. Whereas the raspberry jam,
I love Krispy Kreme donuts. They're so good.
They are sick.
But no, if I could only have one dessert for the rest of my life, it probably would be sticky toffee pudding. But it is rich as hell.
And I will say, it's not quite a dessert, but English, we do the best biscuits as well. Because American biscuits are like scones. And Megan makes a great scone as well, which aren't desserts. They're kind of like a thing for afternoon tea primarily. But biscuits, like in other countries...
What kind of biscuit are you referring to?
I'm not... In America, they primarily have cookies. In like places like Italy, they've got aisles of biscuits.
They've got biscotti.
Yeah, which are fine. And I like there's those weird ones that we've had. You and I go to the teardrop almost shaped cookies that are quite good in the paper bag. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah, they're called gotulas.
There you go. They're good, but in England, we have got the best biscuit game. I can't say I've had as many biscuits in other countries.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember them.
I don't even like those biscuits that much.
They're quite dry, but I do like them.
Davin likes the one that are like the Pandastelle ones.
The chocolate ones, yeah. But we've got insane biscuits, and we proved that because when Tonya came and visited us, we got the biscuit...
chocolate digestives.
Or chocolate hobnobs, things like that. But we got the family selection box of biscuits, family circle, and it's just got about 12 different biscuits in, normally 2 of each, and they are god tier. Although, last thing, we did try Tam Tams, which are an Australian favourite.
Tim Tams.
And we had the caramel ones, and they are incredible.
I wouldn't class biscuits as a dessert, though.
No. They're like, if they were bigger, if you had like a giant biscuit...
They're like a sweet treat, I guess, but they're not a dessert.
No, but they are baking, so... Anything else you want to mention?
The topic wasn't baking. It was
is there anything else... My lovely wife. Because now we're husband and wife now. In previous monthly M&Ms, we were merely fiancés.
I can't wait to eat some of that brownie in a second.
That's what you're gagging for. You're like, right, we've done over 30 minutes. Let's go and eat some brownie.
Yeah.
And custard as well. You love a bit of custard.
I fucking love that.
You love custard.
I actually do. Yeah. I love custard so much.
What about custard on sticky toffee pudding? Does that work?
Yeah, custard is...
Yeah, of course it works. Oh, peasant, how dare you? Sorry, I didn't mean I offended you so badly.
Custard and sticky toffee pudding slaps. Yeah. So good.
Anything else you want to mention about desserts?
I don't think so.
No. You're a fabulous baker, and anyone who visits us can attest, because usually Megan likes to bake people some lovely sweet treats. Any excuse.
I do, yeah. Any excuse for me to do some baking, I will do it.
Yes. So, any friends, come move to the UK, come near us, and then...
Just come stay with us and I'll bake you something.
That's true. She does do that.
But didn't I offer that as like a Patreon thing?
You did. You said it was one of the... I can't remember the episode. I think it's like a bonus afterthoughts. I'll make a note of it and I'll mention when it was released. But it was something like, what if someone gave like £100 a month?
I'd write them a personalised song.
That was it. It was a personalised song and bake them something. Last thing actually I remember, Tonya, she made us zucchini bread, which is courgette is zucchini.
And she posted it to us. That was nice.
Yeah, and sent it with some cool like special skin cream that I've been still use. And zucchini bread, never had that before. Courgette loaf isn't really a thing over here. Really good. So Tonya,
it's just like carrot cake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not far removed.
It's like carrot cake instead of carrot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and
Gorgeous.
pumpkin stuff's really great, and you can use apples as well, which you've made brownies, like using the sugar out of
I've
them.
made brownies using apples, and I've made brownies using sweet potatoes before
Yes.
as well.
Well, Americans love sweet potato pie, don't
And I made pumpkin, like banana bread, but I made pumpkin bread.
they? That was cool. And you made those little cupcakes in COVID, didn't you? When you made those little cupcakes out of pumpkin puree, and you could have like a few for a healthy extra. I used to remember going through them quite a lot. And Megan makes fudge at Christmas as well, which isn't baking or dessert, but it's a good snack. Friends, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, all Patreon supporters get monthly M&M episodes 1 month early, and they also get to decide on the topics. If you do want to submit a topic and you're not a Patreon supporter, please either message me at Genuine Chit-Chat, or on YouTube, please comment your topics and I will add them to the list. But the Patreon supporters do get the priority there. So yeah, we've got a few from Dan, Dave, Math and Tonya. We've got a few more other ones hidden around. So please send in your requests and things that you want us to talk about. And again, Patreon supporters get these a month early, and also Patreon supporters get a bonus episode of Genuine Chit Chat every single week, where myself and Megan usually review movies or talk about other random stuff, as we've discussed, because there's one where we spoke about what would we do if there was a £100 Patreon a month thing. But you don't need to do that,
I don't think that
friends.
was a specific thing. I think it was just went off on a tangent.
We went off on a tangent on a movie review, but we went on for so long, I split them into 2 episodes and released them separately. But friends, for only £1 a month, you get access to the early stuff of Monthly M&M and all the other great stuff on there as well. There's over 250 episodes of Afterthoughts as well. And if you give a one-off donation at ko-fi.com/genuinechitchat, you also get a special treat there as well. So friends, thank you for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you the entire time. Whereas this whole end thing, I've been looking at myself rather than looking at the camera, so sorry, I'm very unprofessional. Thank you, friends. We appreciate you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Bye.